Welcome to Ian Hates Conversations. My name is Ian, and it's another really cool episode as I welcome Landon Tewers of the band The Plot and You to the show. It's a little bit different though, because I got to sit down with Landon face to face while he was touring with his solo material. This is raw and unedited, just Landon and myself talking music. So let's get right to it. Enjoy. And welcome back, everyone, to Ian Hates Conversations. And this is a new one. I am here in the very spacious Ian Hates Studios with Landon Tewers. Landon, man, how are you doing tonight?
Good. It's been a long couple. Well, it's been a long 2 years, but
Yeah,
I finally get a break after this, so I'm just pushing through these last few days. But yeah.
exactly. You have what is it? 2 more dates after tonight?
Yeah, I think 2.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you're off for about
It's
what,
like
a month?
A month and a half. Not even. It's like a month and a couple weeks, but that's like the longest I've had in well over a year. So
Right. Yeah.
I'll be very happy.
It's insane. I think you might have said on Twitter you did over 170 dates last year.
Well, not even counting off days. With off days being gone, it was well over 200 days.
Wow.
Because we did a couple support tours and stuff like that, and then I did a headlining solo tour in the middle of all. For some stupid reason, I thought that'd be a good idea.
Right.
And then so it was cool that we got that kind of exposure, but it broke all of our brains pretty badly. So
Right. I would imagine so. And I guess that was one of the questions I had was, why do this solo tour right now?
That's a good question. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. Jesse had been asking me for a long time, and I was like, well, I do have that chunk of time open.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my wife, and she was like, well, I mean, it's up to you. And I was like, I don't really want to, but
right.
It does seem like a good time to, push this since I haven't had time to, do anything solo in a while. So, and it hit a lot of markets I haven't gotten to hit yet. So I was like, you know what, whatever, we'll just do it.
Yeah, I guess going to the markets as yourself,
mm-hmm.
and then when you come back as Plot, mm-hmm. that would hopefully get that whole. Well, I guess the question too would be, do you see a big difference between the people that come out to see you compared to going to see Plot?
Yeah, it's weird. It seems to be a lot more people my age, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Whereas Plot has a lot of diversity in the fan, a lot of younger fans too.
Yes.
Even below 18 and stuff. So yeah, it seems like all the solo people are. Maybe it's because I talk about sex and drugs a lot. But it kind of only relates to adults, but yeah, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Now, do you think you hit the younger audience, quote unquote younger
mm-hmm.
audience, with Dispose compared to Happiness? Do you think there was a little bit of a crossover there?
Maybe because I guess the lyrical subject matter is a little bit more digestible for a younger audience. Anybody can relate to a heartache or a relationship type issue.
Yeah.
But when it comes to happiness, it's more of about drug addiction and losing people to drugs and just a lot. I guess more mature subject matter that maybe only seasoned adults could maybe relate to.
Right.
Know. But yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So how has the tour gone so far, since you're almost done with it?
This solo one?
Yeah.
It's been good. There was one day, I think it was Oklahoma City. It was pretty bad. There was I think it was 15 people by the time.
No.
But it was on a Tuesday in the middle of nowhere, and Oklahoma City is just kind of a shithole in general. So.
True. That's very, I mean, let's be honest here. But anyone listening in Oklahoma knows that.
Yeah, so. Even if you live there, Right. Come on, let's be real. I live in Detroit. It's not that much better.
There you go.
So.
Yes. Was there any specific spot on the tour that you were looking forward to going to?
Detroit was definitely on the top of the list, and
mm-hmm.
that show was awesome. And then a surprising turnout was Alabama.
Oh, wow.
In Birmingham, out of nowhere. That show was insane. It was one of the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, all these markets for the most part, aside from Ohio and Detroit, were pretty much a gamble because I haven't really hit many of these spots.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to see how it did in general. It did, aside from that one show, everything's been really solid.
Yeah. Now, do you think is it Ghost Atlas that kind of has that pull, or is it yourself that has it?
I think it's been like there's certain nights that they do definitely like it's their crowd. Like
Okay.
I think last night was more their crowd, and then other nights where it's I do better.
Okay.
See, yeah, so it's been pretty well balanced, like fifty
Oh, that's
fifty, and
very
we
cool.
just take turns, headlining every night, just based on like who thinks they might do better.
Ah,
So
okay. All right. Yeah, I was wondering how you guys might
yeah,
end up doing that, but okay, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
And now, when you played in Detroit, was that the one where Desires played with you guys?
yeah, yeah. It
Okay,
was, yeah,
very cool. I mean, for people that have listened to the show for a long time,
mm,
Steve has been on a couple times,
yeah.
and that's
He
how
plays every solo show I ever
I think
play,
so. Yeah,
ever
I
play
think so.
in or around Detroit. But no, I love it. It's great.
And I think it's the only shows that he ever promotes
Oh,
as
really?
well. Yeah, I never see him
Yeah.
talk about anything else, but when he's like, "Oh yeah, Landon's coming." Yeah, now I'm
Interesting.
super excited.
Yeah, I didn't get to hang out with him much, but yeah, his band did great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they always tend to. Now
Mm.
you had a hand in actually producing their newest album, right? When they
Not the
pieced
new one.
everything together.
Actually, their first EP I did.
Okay, okay.
The new one, I think my friend Blake did it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I was going through some old stuff today,
Hmm.
and I also remember when he was in a band called Unalaska,
Yeah.
and you did a guest vocal
Yeah.
spot for that. I think you might have produced that one as well.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
was, man, that's like 3, 4, maybe even 4 years old now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I
Yeah.
realized that that was one of my favorite post-hardcore EPs.
Oh, really?
Straight through. Oh yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
fucking great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, studio-wise,
Mhm.
you have your own studio, right?
Not anymore. I did
Oh shit.
up until the last year, just last year.
Oh, okay.
Because I kind of knew like with this record coming out, I was going to be gone the majority of the year. So me and
Right.
my wife decided we're trying to find a house. So we're like, well, during this year, since I'm going to be gone, let's just get an apartment downtown.
Ah.
So I have like a little studio set up in my apartment, but
Mhm.
it's only like good enough for like me to record myself. I wouldn't really
Right.
want to have anybody in there, but yeah, I've pretty much taken the year off to kind of just tour and like get all that out of the way. But hopefully coming up this year, we'll be buying a house and I'll be able to get back into that because I do miss that very much.
Yeah, so that'll be in the plan is to
Yeah.
really make a studio in
Yeah.
whatever house
Like
you
the
are.
house. Yeah, I want it to be a house that I'll be able to stay in for like 5 to 10 years and like really get down, like start working again. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think, or maybe it's more well known in the scene now,
Mhm.
but how much actual work you do outside of plot,
Mhm.
not only with your solo material,
Mhm.
but then actually helping other bands,
Yeah.
ghostwriting for some bands
Mhm.
as well. How do you even get started with that? Do people reach out to you?
Yeah. Well, it's different in every scenario, but a lot of the times, yeah, it's word of mouth. People hear that I helped co-write on certain things, and they'll ask me to help out on whatever they're doing. Like most recently, I did just a couple co-writes with Crown the Empire. It was
Sure.
just like a couple songs helping out with vocals and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the end game plan, is to
Ah, okay.
just be like a ghostwriter and like be able to help with song structure and
Mhm.
just pre-production, all that kind of stuff.
Damn.
I love
Well,
doing that. Yeah.
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And also, congrats on getting married.
Thank you.
I
appreciate
think,
it.
was that last year or the year before?
It was yeah, last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I think
it-
we've been together 8 months. Been married 8 months
okay,
now?
there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thanks.
Now, and she's able to stay with you when you're not around. Is that
Somehow.
the reason?
I don't know how
Yeah.
the fuck she deals with it, but yeah, like I said, I was gone like over 200 days last year. I don't know how she dealt with it.
Wow.
And she has a crazy strenuous job too.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
she doesn't even get to take time off to tour with you at some
No,
point.
not really.
Okay.
Like she'll come out to certain shows, but
Yeah.
that's like the best it gets.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Would that ever be something you want to do,
I
or
would
do you
hope
like
so.
that separation? Okay.
No, yeah, definitely. It's just we travel like homeless people. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're literally we call our van like a mobile homeless shelter because it's just trashy and disgusting, and
Sure.
we're all just dirty people. So I don't think it's like the right environment for someone
Yeah.
like her. She likes to keep things clean,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
and it's like I said, like it's just cramped as it is. So
Right.
yeah, we don't usually do the bandwagon or the bus yet. We're trying to be modest and save as much as we can, and
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, I would imagine with the Erase Me tour,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is like a the flag I have here.
Mhm.
So with that one, you had to have been like the band that just didn't do that. Every other one would have
Oh
already
yeah,
had that
every
stuff,
other
right?
band, or yeah, both the other support bands had bandwagons, and then Under Oath had a bus.
Right.
And here we are in this little shitty van, and dude, that was rough. Like, cause we had just done Europe before that.
Right,
So
yeah.
I was, dude, brain dead by the end of that tour. I was probably sleeping like 16 to 18 hours a day,
Right.
just to try to pass the time because I need to get the fuck home. I'm dying inside. because I don't know what it is. Just being away from home that long
Mhm.
and never having like a solid place to fall asleep. You never know where you're gonna fall asleep. You never know, when you're gonna get to do anything.
Right.
And like it was cold and shitty, so it's not like you could go sightseeing or do anything fun. So you're
Right.
just kind of confined to the cold venue all day. Like, I'm making these are huge first world problems,
Well, no, no, no. Of
but
course,
after
of
two
course.
months of doing that same thing every single day, it's like it's very mind numbing.
Yeah, it wears on you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I mean, like we said, doing all those tours that you did last year,
Yeah.
you were on tour with some of the biggest bands out there. You went to UK, you went
Mhm.
to Europe, and you did multiple trips to Australia.
Mhm.
That had to have killed your mind
Oh
somehow.
yeah, just the flying alone
Yeah,
was awful. Yeah.
man, that's
And that's just
something.
something I
Yeah,
just don't get used to either. You know what I mean? It's like no matter how many times you fly, it never gets
no,
easier. If anything, it just gets shittier.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was an Air Force brat for a long
Oh,
time, so
nice.
my
Yeah.
parents would move us around all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so we were constantly flying. And yeah, it never gets easier. And I'm
Yeah.
6'5", so
Right.
that's
That
also
yeah,
not.
exactly. For
Yeah,
tall people, it's a
it's
totally different
awful.
experience. My legs were like my ankles were swollen.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was like sore from it for days. It was
Right.
awful, and I had no drugs, so it
Yeah, that's the other
was,
thing
yeah.
too.
Normally, I at least like pop a couple Xanax or
Right.
something, but I
Ugh.
had nothing, so I just did it dead sober.
Ouch.
It's not
Ouch.
fun.
No,
Yeah.
that's not fun. Was there at least something good out of, besides going to all these great places where some people don't get to go? Obviously, like you said,
Yeah.
first world problems.
Yeah.
When you went to Australia,
Mhm.
did you get to do anything fun while you're there? I know one was like a super quick trip, but I think you were there for a little longer before.
Well, we went there with Polaris last year, and we were there for like I think it was 10 days, and
Yeah.
all the shows sold out, so
Oh,
that was
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
As far as sightseeing goes, no, we didn't do any.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the drives were really long, and they would fly to every show because they're rock stars.
Well,
They're
right.
better than everybody else. No, but no, we did it the poor people way. We just
Sure.
drove to every show, and most of the drives were like really really brutal.
Gotcha.
So no, we didn't really have time to do any of that. And then the last time, I won't even give you like the whole like schedule, but basically it was like 20 hours there. We spent like maybe 18 hours in Australia, and then did the whole entire trip all the way back. It
Wow.
was for one festival show that we almost didn't even get to play because all of our shit got fucked up in our rig.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
We were like 15 minutes into our like when we should have been in our set time,
Yep.
and we just still weren't even sound checking drums.
Wow.
We're like, wow, we might have just flown all the way to Australia to not even play this one show. I probably would have killed myself.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was the actual festival when that happened?
It
Did
was
they
cool.
give you the time, or
Yeah, they were lenient. They're like, well, we're not gonna not let them play. So it went over really well, especially like not having any idea like what our poll is on our own over
Yeah.
there. Well, I mean it's a festival,
Well,
but like
right.
with Polaris, it was their fans and stuff. So
For sure.
we were just playing to them. But no, we could tell we definitely had our own crowd, which was cool.
Yeah.
Very receptive. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess the question to you again, I don't know why I keep on saying, and the question to you again will
Yeah.
be obvious. I'm asking
Yeah.
questions, but I think the thing is, since you have made such a change with Plot, with
Mhm.
Dispose, do you think that now hitting all of these major tours that
Mhm.
you maybe didn't have as much before,
Mhm.
does it have to do with the change in style a little bit, or is it just maybe is it fearless? Like, how do
I
you
think
get
it's a
these?
little bit
Yeah.
of everything.
Okay.
I mean, Fearless definitely saved our band. 'Cause
Oh, good.
right before we signed with them, I was pretty much like, I don't really care to do this anymore, and I was fine with it. Because I was recording nonstop, and I had a pretty decent home life and everything. So I was like, I don't know. I was sick of touring. I'd been touring for almost 10 years at that point and
Right.
everything. So I was pretty content with being home. And then they kind of threw an offer in out of nowhere. We're like, well, that's pretty much, well, we can't pass that up. So
Gotcha.
we're like, okay, let's at least give it one more shot. We'll put out at least one more record and see how it does. And they were just like, I've talked about it so many times. They were just perfect.
Good.
Everything we
Okay.
wanted, they did it and more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they made all of our dreams and like, everything that we envisioned, they made it a reality, like very quickly and efficiently. And they just believed in the band really well, and they loved the record. And it just showed, like this was the most busy year we had last
Yeah.
year, and everything went really smoothly. And yeah, we're just super lucky. Everything just lined up perfectly, for us. I actually think it was a lot to do with just luck, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like right
Sure.
timing. And yeah, but I mean, getting the tours that we got last year, I think really set us up for what we want to do now. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so we used to be kind of like in that whole like beat downy type, genre.
Sure.
And I think we just stayed lumped in that even after we had changed, slightly after.
Right.
But I think this has definitely kind of given us a different perspective,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good.
So you bounced around to a bunch of different labels before.
Yeah.
Were the reasons for leaving, was it control? Did you want to have certain control? Because you seem to
Um,
be a person that likes to do a lot
yeah.
of pretty much everything.
Yeah, well, our whole band too, like Josh, our guitar player, he basically manages the band for the most part. Like
Okay.
he handles all the finances and all that kind of stuff that you would usually hire someone to do. And
Sure.
then our drummer does all the video stuff, which that's pretty unheard of. And then I do all the recording and songwriting. So everything is pretty much self-contained in our band, which is we like it that way. We like to have that control. But the labels that we were on before, they were fine with that, but whenever they would suggest something and we didn't like the idea, it was almost like, well, if you don't like our idea, we're not going to give you
okay.
100% of what we could give you.
Right.
And that was always very frustrating. It was like, because we would never back down. We're like, if
No.
we don't like your idea, we're not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've just always had a lot of integrity in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, Fearless is the first label we've been with that has just trusted us, to just do what we want, and it paid off. You know what I mean? They would
Yep.
give us ideas, and we were respectful, and
Oh,
they
of course.
actually had like quite a few cool ideas for the first time ever.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, we're like sweet. Like our old label. One of the guys at the label was like, "I think you need to start wearing all white on stage
No,
all the time." I was
I
like,
can't.
"What the fuck are you talking about?" He was just fucked out of his mind, just like trying to give us pointers and ideas and stuff. And always just like the corniest ideas. He tried to get us to change our name to "Dead Girls Don't Wear Diamonds."
What?
Dead girls don't wear diamonds. Yeah.
That's, first of all, the name alone.
From Vessels,
how long?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We're like, no, dude.
That's insane.
That's not gonna happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is good to hear about
Yeah.
Fearless then. So one of the reasons why I thought maybe you have gone to so many different projects and that you do solo work is because you needed that extra outlet to,
Yeah.
to get that kind of stuff out. Because like
Yeah.
you said, you want to control everything and make sure that everything goes the way you want it to.
Right.
Is there a reason, because you have so many, you have the solo project, you're writing for other people, you've got plot, one of my favorites, AI 640. How do you know when you're writing that is going to be for whatever voice you're looking to put out there?
It's a lot of the time it's actually like after it's done. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because there's been certain plot songs that ended up just being like other band songs that I won't name because I don't want
course.
people to know, like,
Right.
but yeah, that's happened quite a few times. I'll write a song and then I can't really envision it for anything I want to use it for, so I'll just kind of give it away or like, make a deal with somebody and kind of sell it off or whatever. And then there's so many times that I'll have songs that I'm like, I want to keep this as a solo song, and then I'll show the band and then they'll be like, no, I think that would work on a plot record. And then
Okay.
like that song The Sound
Mhm.
on the last record or on Dispose, that was originally just going to be a solo song. Same with Disposable Fix. Same with there's another song I can't think, but it was going to be another just solo song of mine.
Okay.
So yeah, that happens very often, and vice versa too. A lot of times I'm like writing songs, trying to write for plot, and then I'm like, it's a little bit too like either like bluesy or jazzy or something, and I'm like, I think it just worked better for the solo stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's different every time, but that's what keeps it fun though, is never knowing what it could be
Right.
for. Yeah. Except for AI 640. Anytime I am writing for that, I know it's going to be for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's very intentional.
That is, and that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
the craziness that goes into
Yeah.
those two EPs, the different vocal ranges and everything that you're working with.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, because that was one, that blew me away the first time that I heard it. And I love part 2 as well.
Thank you.
I think that might have been one of the first times we started talking, because I think
Oh, yeah.
on the show we had talked about your solo album, Dynamite, because I fucking love that.
Thank you.
And then, AI 640 came out. I was like, holy shit,
Mm.
I completely forgot about this one.
Yeah.
And then I went back. So how did that even come about, that you were like, I'm going to focus so much onto that?
I don't know. Me and our old merch guy's name's Tanner. He does the artwork for it.
Oh, okay.
Him and I actually had like a comic book idea, like with this kind of concept.
Mhm.
And I was like, what if I wrote like the music and kind of made a story through music that you could write kind of like a comic book too. We never got around to the comic book side of it, but he's a busy guy. Like, he has so many different projects and stuff, but yeah, he ended up at least doing the artwork for it. And that was like cool enough. So yeah, it's kind of like our weird thing together. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I still have a couple ideas I want to do for part 3.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that'll be the end of it. But I want to send it off like on a super high note. Like, I want to get it very well produced by someone like way better than me, like someone that can do I would love to get like Drew Folk or something
Wow.
to do that. That'd be sick.
That would be damn. Wow.
I'll be like, just take all the presets from that last Amir record and just put the AI 640 shit through it, and
There you go.
we'll be good. You don't even have to touch it.
Yeah,
just
don't even
put it
fuck with
through all the
Right.
same shit. Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
So, do you have actual timelines in your head then of how you want to do that? Because if you're writing,
I
and
do,
you're-
but I fuck them up all
Oh,
the time.
okay,
Yeah,
alright.
all the time. Yeah,
Like
I
by
mean,
doing
after this,
crazy tours and-
after
yeah.
this, for instance, like I have a lot of things I want to do, but
Mhm.
I'm also newly married, and I
Right.
got a lot of other things. I got to look for a house and stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it'll
exactly.
get all fucked up, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see when I get to it, but I just have a lot of ideas. I just don't know when I'm ever gonna get the time to do them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hopefully, we'll have the summer off, and I'll be able to work then finally. But,
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me about summer during this like intense winter.
Yeah.
Which isn't. I mean, I will say
Yeah,
for
it's
being
sad.
here, it's not the worst it's
no,
ever
yeah,
been.
it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could be. How is Detroit? How is the area right now? Like,
I think it's pretty shitty.
Okay.
But I mean, anytime from probably November till like April, it's gonna be pretty garbage out there. So,
right,
yeah.
right. Okay. So, with the solo stuff that you're
Mhm.
doing, obviously that's what you're touring on right now. You don't play anything else from Plot. You don't play
Right.
anything from AI 640. Obviously, you have.
Sometimes.
Do you?
Last
Okay.
last tour we played one song as an encore.
That's just an encore.
But I was like,
okay.
this is kind of corny. I think we did it like 2 times just because the shows were that good, and I could tell like
okay. All right.
I could see some kids with plugs.
They
and
knew actual.
they're like,
Okay. All right.
yeah, this kid wants to mosh. So.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So-
but I felt so weird after. I was like, I can't do that again. That's just too awkward. If it was all AI 640,
Well, right,
then that'd
right,
be
right.
fine. But playing a cooped up into Escape,
That is a little tougher. That is true.
yeah, it's a little weird.
So how do you then make the set list for your solo stuff?
I pretty much just pick my favorites,
Okay.
and the ones that the guys like to play as well.
Mhm.
I like on this. I usually only do headliners when I do solo stuff, so I actually get to pick a pretty good amount of songs. Like we
Right.
play like I think 10 or 11 songs on this.
Oh, cool.
And it's pretty much just all the ones that we know like sound the coolest live and like go over the best. So
Okay.
and just fun,
Yeah.
like yeah.
So how many people do you have with you? Because obviously you've got Miles here.
Right, yeah.
But is there anyone else as well?
Miles is doing like keys, guitar, and he even plays bass on one song.
Oh,
Just
wow.
whatever is like the most prominent instrument,
Yeah.
he'll play like that for
Okay.
that song. And then I've got Alex from Era and Ghost Atlas. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Their
All
drummer.
right.
He's toured with Plot like a million times.
Right.
Like he was at one point pretty much our main like fill-in drummer. Like he did every tour
Yeah,
with us for
right,
like
right.
I think it was like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, he's like one of my best friends. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's very cool.
It's all just like the best group of homies,
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah,
That
it's
is good to
awesome.
hear.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to be seeing you later on tonight.
Mhm.
So I've had friends that have told me, throughout the country,
Mhm.
how good this has been.
Mhm.
I do have to ask, I don't think you play it, but do you play I May Be Evil?
No, and that's his favorite song.
Yeah.
So he gets.
I'm with Miles on
Yeah.
that.
No, I want to. I played it once before. It's just it moves so slow.
Yeah, it is
which
a
is
slow
fine.
song. Yeah,
Like
sure.
but even live, I remember just being like, oh my god, this is dragging. And we already play like 2 other songs that are also super slow in that
Sure.
same vein. So I was like, I'm gonna pick like at least what I think will go over best live, but
Right.
it'll come back for sure.
Oh, yeah.
because I do love that song too.
I had to check
Yeah.
on that one. Just
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
check on it.
It'll
So,
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go way back just because,
Yeah.
like I said, we've never been able to talk before.
Right.
So the Ma and Pa music video,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure a lot of people have asked you about this,
Mhm.
but that video was obviously very difficult to watch, very
Mhm.
artistic in the way that you were doing everything.
Yeah.
When the tooth came out,
Mm-hmm.
was that after the chair hit, or was it the punch afterwards when you got back up?
I'd have to watch the video.
Okay.
Because honestly, dude, like I was out of my mind. It's
Right.
not. That video is no joke. That is
No.
like 2 like really severe like druggies like making.
Right, right.
It's very real. We're on a lot of different things, and yeah, to be honest, I don't remember like hardly anything about making that video. I had the idea. And I had Steve did the video. Do you
Yeah.
know that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're gonna show up, and I'm probably not even gonna be able to talk very well, but like, we're gonna get through this. And I wrote out exactly how I wanted it and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, I'll make it happen. And it somehow happened. And like 2 days later, he sent me the video, and I was like, fuck, should I even put this up?
Right.
Like, I don't want my parents to see this. This is fucking embarrassing. But luckily, like, it doesn't. I mean, hopefully my mom never hears this, but yeah, it is all very real. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And it sucked. I was sore for like a long time after making that video.
Yeah.
I had like bruises and rings around my neck and shit. That was the real deal.
That
It
was,
sucked. Yeah.
but I what I liked is when I went back and I looked at the video because I'd seen it when it first came out.
Yeah.
I was like, let me, prep a little bit on this and
Uh-huh.
let me check it out again. And when I saw it, I looked down at the comments.
Mm.
I don't know if you've ever read those or if you even
I
care.
think I did maybe like last time, maybe like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
All of them almost are saying, look, he got his ass handed to him and there's that tooth, but he kept that cigarette in
Yeah.
his fingers the whole entire time.
That was a goal. That was
Yeah,
a
that
goal. I
was
was like,
really good.
no matter what happens, I want to make sure I keep this in my hands. I don't know why either. People probably thought that there was some kind of significance to it, but I was
The
like, no.
addiction thing. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. And
Yeah, you maybe subconsciously that was it coming through, but yeah, no, I didn't. I was just like, wouldn't it be sick?
right. No,
People often like think that they're way more in depth into things that and I'm sure a lot of artists do. They think like, oh, these tiny things mean something. When often it's like, no, not really. It's just a tiny little idea. You're smarter than I am. Like, yeah, that was one of those things.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And sorry.
I'm
It
good.
was just I remember just watching that and just being like, I'm pretty sure his tooth came out.
Yeah.
And that's actually what
Yeah,
happened.
that one, yeah.
Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
even get it filled?
No, not
I
yet.
have one of those
Yeah.
too. That happened. Yeah.
I'm going to. Eventually. I'll just make one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that something where when when you're with your wife now
Mm.
and you guys have made out one time,
Yeah.
did she feel that and you had to tell the whole story?
No, but I did I showed her that video and I was like,
Oh, shit.
that's where that came from. She was like, wow, well, interesting.
Yeah. At least you're not doing videos like that anymore.
Yeah, no, not
So,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. I
There's-
keep it pretty clean these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Now how I've been in some music videos before.
Mhm.
I know how long they can take to make and everything.
Yeah.
Going from I wouldn't say more artistic, just more of the like your original videos that you had a budget for and you had to work on.
More
where,
like DIY.
Yeah, your DIY videos compared to what you're doing now for
Mhm.
plot and dispose.
Right.
What was the difference between like how long you have to actually be there? Is it easier to make those DIY ones?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
mean, well, for the most part, because you're working with people that are like you, which are lazy pieces of shit, that like just kind of want to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess that was always us. We didn't really maybe we didn't even care enough, to like really make the video something special. It was like our label would throw us, here's $3,000, get some dude with a DSLR that can,
Right.
you can hang out for like 3 hours and they'll just film you in a barn with some string lights,
Right.
so stupid. Like, what's the point of even doing it at that point? If there's
Right.
no like integrity or like any, and like I'd written up tons of treatments in the past that I was really stoked about, and I'd
Mhm.
bring it to the label, and they're like, I mean, it's a cool idea, but that's going to cost like $20,000 or something. I'm like, okay, well, and you try to cut corners with certain things, but in the end, it's almost like, why even try? If you
I
know
see.
it's just going to turn out garbage. Like,
Yeah.
you really have to have the resources if you want to make something great. And I think Feel Nothing is a perfect representation of that, because that was the first video we ever had like a real budget for.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it shows.
Yeah, it
that's
definitely shows. Yeah,
that
for sure.
song is what's kind of like helped us skyrocket, over the past year and a half. So yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to those kind of things, I think it's very important, that it's executed in a way that the vision is executed in
Right.
The correct way. And that takes money and that takes a lot of effort and stuff. And it always shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always tell when a video is just like, just thrown together,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it translates, through views and stuff like that. So it's always worth it. Yeah. In my mind, it's not even worth doing if you're not going to, be able to put 100% into it. So,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was very little effort. We'd spend no longer than like a couple hours making a video.
Sure.
Whereas now it takes literally like 2 days sometimes.
Right.
And it's grueling. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not
Yeah.
fun at all.
No.
Like, it's funny. I feel like people, like family and friends, they always think like, oh, you're going to make
that's super cool.
going to LA to make a music
Right.
video. This sounds like so much fun. I was like, no, this shit fucking sucks.
Yep.
Doing the same song. By the end of the day, you hate the song, and
Yeah.
now it's ruined forever.
Right.
And I have to play this, like for a whole year, almost every day. Like, yeah, it's not fun at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, on that same note, with everything you've been doing with all these long tours,
Yeah.
is it really difficult to continue playing those same songs? Like, have you worn them out by now?
Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, I'm pretty worn out by them. Like, after like the first or second tour, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, but you kind of just have to. It's one of those things you kind of have to force yourself to like get back into that emotion, like,
Right.
get into it again. Because if not, like, it'll just keep getting more and more bland, and you'll just want to quit.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, you kind of have to force yourself to like fall in love with those songs over and over again, and like just feed off the energy from the crowd and stuff.
Right.
For me, it's less about the song and more about like how they're receiving it.
Sure.
Because I'm not like on stage thinking about the things I'm saying. I'm more so like just hoping it's connecting. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, that's the benefit that we get from it, is just like, it doesn't matter if I've played that song 1,000 times. Like, as long as it's still, you can tell people are being affected by it. That's what makes it worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, and we'll continue on with that as well.
Hmm.
So obviously, I think I would say for plot,
Hmm.
you have a very diversive listener base, let's
Mhm.
say. So you have people that love, the first couple releases. You have people that jumped on when Happiness came out.
Mhm.
And then you have some people that jumped off when Dispose came,
Yeah.
and then you have people that jumped on.
Yeah.
So obviously nostalgia is a big deal right
Right.
now, and who knows how long that'll last.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
would you ever do a 10-year or some
Like Firstborn or
yeah,
something.
something like that?
We actually talked about that
Yeah.
pretty recently. I think the general consensus was like, we don't want to do it, but I guess as a service to the fans, we all agreed we would consider it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But at the same time, having said that, like, would you really want to watch a band get on stage knowing they don't really want to be
Well,
playing
right,
these songs? Because I can't lie, I don't want to play half those songs ever again.
Right.
Or,
Well,
yeah, most, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
and I remember you making fun of some of those
Yeah,
songs
yeah.
before, and it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you've matured, you've changed. I mean,
Right.
not only with lyrical content, but also style
Right.
has changed so much.
Mhm.
But I think you kind of get into that debate then with bands like Bring Me the Horizon,
Right.
where they have completely changed their sound now with
Yeah.
their new album. Do they even want to be playing
I'm sure they
anything?
don't. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't speak for them.
Well, sure,
And I
of course
shouldn't
not.
try. But yeah, I mean, most dudes that I've toured with, that do that have done or are planning to do the 10-year stuff, they're all like bummed about it.
Right.
They're just like, gonna go make some money,
Yes, right.
like, and I get that. I do. Like, I totally do. But I don't know. Like, would you want to go to a show? But like, I'm actually asking,
yeah,
would you
go ahead.
want to go to a show with a band, doing their 10-year anniversary on a record, knowing that they're actually not stoked and it's literally just a performance,
Oh,
or
no,
would
it
you
was-
not care?
Oh no, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I might make jokes about a band when
Yeah.
they have something where, like, for me, I don't like the new Bring Me the Horizon. We did
Oh,
like
really?
a whole hour and a half show
Mm.
where we just picked things apart.
Yeah.
That's just, it's for me, it's not my style of music.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
just what,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Now I respect what they're doing because I know they're talented as fuck.
Yeah.
And if this is what they want to do, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of goes to how so many people are clamoring and have been for years
Mhm.
for an MCR reunion.
Yeah.
To me, everything that I've seen them do shows me they don't want to ever do
Yeah.
that. So if they do come back, it almost feels like they've given in to the pressure of
Yeah.
fans and that they don't want to be there. I don't want to be there
Yeah.
if they don't want to be
Same.
there.
And that's how I view it too.
Yeah.
I think, remember the, what's that dude? The guitar player for Limp Bizkit.
Oh, Wes Borland?
He'll openly talk shit about Limp Bizkit,
Oh,
but he
yeah.
still does it. So it's like, dude, I know you're only on stage
Yeah, right.
for a paycheck. Like, if I was a fan, I couldn't go to a show and support that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's I don't know. That's shitty to me.
No, I
Which
completely
is why we probably won't do it.
I see. And
Yeah.
I had to ask just in case,
Yeah.
but I totally get that. I think I have been to many 10-year anniversary shows.
Mhm.
So it's a new thing now.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the one with Falling in Reverse
Oh,
where
okay.
Ronnie was doing Dying Is Your Latest Fashion.
Uh-huh.
Because to me, that's
That's
still
an Escape the Fate song, right?
that's their whole album. It's
okay.
that first full length
Escape
Escape
the-
the Fate.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess he still had the rights to it or
Yeah,
something.
probably.
So he was like, let's do a full.
Interesting. I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah, I think it was. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago,
Weird.
somewhere around there.
The album's that old?
Oh yeah, the album's 10 years old. No,
Jesus.
even more because
Yeah,
I
it's
think it
gotta
came
be
in
more than that.
2004, probably, right? Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's crazy to think about that, right?
Wow.
So that's one of my all-time favorites.
Mhm.
No matter how my styles change, whatever,
it's a good
I
record,
love that album.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see this because I'm assuming he's gonna put some work into it.
Mhm.
When I saw him do that, it looked like he was having the worst time of his
Yeah.
life. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was hoping he liked it, but yeah, it doesn't happen.
It's hard.
sometimes.
It's not something you can force someone into. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I do get how that's a dilemma, that a lot of musicians face. Like, do I do it for the money? And not only for the money, but it'll make fans happy.
Sure.
But at the same time, you're getting on stage and performing art that you don't want to be performing. So you're kind of selling them short and yourself short a little bit. You know
Very
what
true.
I mean? Because it's supposed to be a good experience. You know, that live, like, artistic experience. That's
Right.
supposed to be something you enjoy. But I don't know. I get both sides of it. I wouldn't condemn anyone that did it that
No,
didn't actually
no.
want to do it. But at the same time, I'm like, you sold out a little bit.
A little,
Just
just
admit it.
tiny,
I don't
just
care,
tiny
but
bit.
just admit it. Yeah.
You get to bring it back on vinyl.
Yeah,
You get to do all
exactly.
the merch again.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe if I listened to Firstborn like 5 times in a row and I
Mhm.
didn't completely hate it, then I'd be like, okay, maybe. I could
Maybe.
do- Yeah.
Maybe. So then let's talk about a little bit the brand new tour that you're going to
Mhm.
be going on in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So you got like Moss the Flames,
Mhm.
Limbs, and Dayseeker, which
Yeah.
is a crazy good lineup.
Yeah, I'm
Really,
stoked.
really good.
Yeah.
Now I know you've toured with like Moss the Flames
Like
before.
1,000
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
So so many times.
Yeah.
And then Dayseeker, I actually saw you guys together here.
With the Color Morale? Or
No, it was with Ice Nine Kills.
oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, we did both of those with them.
And then
Yeah.
Limbs is a little newer, so I
Yeah.
don't think you guys have toured with them.
No,
before,
and to
have
be
you?
honest, I haven't really. I think I've heard a couple songs by them. They sound sick.
They
but
have
I've
their
only
last
heard
album.
good things.
Oh
so,
yeah, Father's Son, their last album was on my best of 2018. It's
Awesome. That's good
so
to hear.
damn good.
Hell yeah.
So how did that come together? And then have you set up a set list for that since you're going to be headlining?
We've just started talking about the set
Mhm.
list. Nothing's set in stone yet, but
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be a good mix of old and new for sure. But yeah, as far as like the bands, Dayseeker, you know, we've become really good friends with them
Oh,
just through those 2 tours that we did with them, and so they were kind of like a no brainer for like a 2 of 4.
Mhm.
And then like Moss, you know, like we've toured with them 1,000 times,
For
and
sure.
they're all well, Aaron, their bass player, is like one of my best friends in
Oh,
the
good.
world, and like it just made their new record makes a lot of sense with our new record. We're kind of like both kind of going down the same road as
Sure.
far as, you know, the direction. And then Limbs was just brought up by I think a manager or booking
Oh,
agent
okay.
or something, is like, you know, a band that would fit really well. And we all checked them out. We're like, yeah, this sounds, you know, that fits. So yeah, it was actually a pretty quick decision.
Oh,
You know,
good.
like
Okay.
once everyone kind of weighed out different options, it was like, yeah, that makes the most sense. So
Okay.
which is sick because usually it does not go.
Yeah, it
that
doesn't go
smooth.
that well.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that tour is going to be, is that a month and a half, somewhere
Mhm.
around there?
I think it's like a month and like a few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Which
that's
isn't
not
too bad.
not too
I'll
bad,
live.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that after that, will you be kind of taking a break around that
yeah.
time?
Finally.
Okay.
Thank God. I think we have like 2 festivals or something in the summer.
Okay.
But I want to put out a solo record in the summer.
Cool.
Which I'm gonna start after this tour. I'm gonna at least try, and I'm hoping to get it out by the summer, but late summer at the most. But yeah, I just plan on writing and just keeping busy on the, you know, the recording aspect of things and
Right.
stuff. And I would, you know, I'd like to work on some plot stuff too. But
Okay.
we'll see what happens. I have so much I have to
Well,
catch
that's
up
yeah.
on
There's
with
so much stuff you
family,
have to do.
friends, and
Right.
you know, house hunting and all this shit. So
Right.
yeah, just I'm excited to have some time off.
True.
Yeah.
And it has been, I think Dynamite came out in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a little while for that, but you
Mhm.
put out 3 standalone singles.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last one was Holy Night, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're playing tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess, yeah, on that one.
That's my favorite one to play live.
Well,
yeah.
I do have a question about that. That might be, and maybe I misread it, but that seems to be some of your most positive lyrics that I've ever heard.
Really?
Yeah. Am I
Interesting.
wrong on that one? Am I misinterpreting
Kind
it?
of, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think like what you would think would be positive about it. I mean, it's definitely like coming to the realization that like I don't know, I know there's something good in me, you know, like
Yeah,
as the
I think
chorus,
that's
yeah.
And it's not just the chorus. I think there were other parts that I picked out of it,
Yeah.
but maybe I was looking at it from a different angle.
Right.
Because I am so used to listening to your music and being like, hey, that's how I feel. But also, that's a terrible way to feel
Yeah,
as well.
for
So this
sure.
one was like, hey, maybe that's a little bit more on that positive
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Well, I guess in comparison to other things I've written, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that is more leaning on the happier side, which isn't saying much.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
no, yeah, that one is I was, you know, it's a lot of self-loathing, as a lot of my music is.
For sure.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
one in I wrote that like in between tours and stuff,
Mhm.
and I was just super like emotionally drained, physically, like just had to spill out a bunch of thoughts, and that's
Right.
kind of like what came from that. So yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wrap up things here in a second because I know you've got to get back to the
Yeah, no
venue and
worries.
I've got to get to the venue.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I did want to ask, because I do so many other podcasts,
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, is there anything that you do outside of music? It doesn't seem like you have a lot. Doesn't seem like you have a whole lot of time to do that.
Hmm.
But are you a book guy, comic books, TV shows,
Right.
movies, anything like that?
Kind of a little bit of everything you just said,
All right.
actually. Yeah,
There you go.
I cook a lot when I'm home. Me and my
Okay.
wife are super into cooking. I eat so shitty on tour, and I drink a
Oh,
lot
sure.
on tour. So
For
when I'm
sure.
home, I try to like detox everything, and
Right. Right.
So yeah, cooking is a huge one. We go to the movies probably like once or twice a week when I'm home,
Oh,
which we
wow.
discussed earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
try
yeah.
to keep up to date on everything. Because when I'm on tour, I never really get to go to the movies, and
No.
I love movies, so
Okay. All
try to
right.
catch up on all that. And then yeah, we watch. We've been super into Master Chef.
Ah,
It is
sure.
the
Yeah.
shittiest show in the
It is.
world.
It's
I hate it.
dumb,
It's
but
garbage.
I
Every
still watch it
episode,
every once.
same.
Yeah.
Every episode is exactly the
Yep.
same. You just lose one person, but for whatever reason, we can't stop watching it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So, movie-wise, is there anything that you're looking forward to coming out soon?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously the new Avengers. I'm
Yeah.
stoked for.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan?
Yeah,
Marvel
I mean,
fan?
if you look around my apartment, I mean,
Yeah, I've
obviously.
noticed a couple things, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if the movies were.
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that is one thing. I hate DC movies,
Same.
and I love
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
Yeah, same.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel has had some
Did you see
missteps.
Aquaman by any
No,
chance? Yeah.
no.
I'm glad you didn't torture
No,
yourself with that.
some people asked me to do it so that they could come on the show and trash it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I'm assuming, did you see it?
Sadly, so basically,
Oh.
it's to me, it's like if you remember Disney Channel movies back in the day.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like
Like,
Brink and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's
Fucking
like
love that.
if Disney Channel now got a major budget for a movie and made it a superhero movie. That's what it would be.
Okay.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Needless to say.
Yes,
it's
for
trash.
sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
Other movies though, I'm stoked about coming out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. God, well, I was stoked for The House That Jack Built. Did you see that by any chance?
I didn't see it. No.
But that already came out. But they're apparently they're doing like an unrated version of
Oh,
that, like
okay.
in select theaters,
Mhm.
and there might be one coming close to me. So if
Oh, there
that
you go.
comes out, I'll be so stoked.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
Are you a big fan of horror movies at all?
Oh, huge fan. Yeah.
So, did you see the brand new trailer for Pet Cemetery?
No.
So I saw it.
Good
The only
or
reason
trash?
it's on my fucking brain right now because I
Yeah.
watched it today.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with the original movie and the book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I read the book a long, long time ago. I
Mhm.
love the movie. The
Mhm.
movie can be campy, but it was still pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the kid dies. I mean, they do a good job with all that.
Yeah.
So in this movie, not only are they not mentioning it as an Indian burial ground, which is extremely PC, I get it,
Yeah.
but it seems very strange that that's like the thing that they have to go after.
Mhm.
But now also, it's not the son who dies, it's the daughter.
Interesting.
It's just like they threw away all their source material
Yeah.
and just made it that you can bury someone in the ground and they come back, but that's it.
Yeah.
It seems
Weird.
strange. I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird. Did you see Hereditary last year?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Did you like it?
I
Oh,
go
God.
back. I know. I
Are
go
we
back
gonna-
and
Are we
forth.
about to argue?
Yeah, we're about to be not best friends anymore. The tough part I love the way it was filmed
Mm.
because it was so ugly.
Yeah.
There was no beauty in that movie.
Yeah, not at
It
all.
was just like everything about it was ugly. The only thing I had trouble with was that at the end, when I was like, oh no, I got this. Like, I understand it.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh no, but really, did you get it?
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, yeah, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I completely understand what happened.
Yeah.
It was just, there was a lack of an oomph somewhere in that movie,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah. But now, was that your like number one
Oh,
movie?
dude, it might be my favorite horror movie of all time now.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
All right.
because before that it was the original Exorcist. You know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But that movie, yeah, for me that like hit all the notes that I
Okay.
wanted it to hit. It was
Interesting.
awesome. And I thought the ending was I loved the ending at first, but it wasn't like my favorite.
Yeah.
And I loved the rest. But then the next time I saw it, I loved
You
it
were
more.
like,
and
oh,
now,
okay.
I've seen it probably like 10 times by
Ah,
now.
I gotcha.
And every time I watch it, still I find something new I love
Yeah.
about it.
I wasn't wanting a twist or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just seemed underwhelming
Right.
when it happened. But
Gotcha.
everyone did a great job in it
Yeah.
too. Like, they're all really good actors
I
and all that
agree.
kind of stuff. So that was good. But yeah, I think for me, favorite horror movie, it's gonna be weird, but it was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Which is
Scream.
Scream.
Scream is
Interesting.
still my all-time favorite horror movie.
Yeah, back in the day, that definitely freaked me out for sure.
Yeah.
That's a solid one.
The
Yeah.
whole two killer
You
thing
shouldn't
and
be
then the whole
ashamed of that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, believe me, I'm ashamed of many things in my life. That is not the one that I'm ashamed of.
Good.
All right. So I think I'm looking at the time. I think this is a perfect time to
Cool.
stop. So Landon, thank you so
Oh,
much
thank
for
you for
taking
having
this
me.
time. I appreciate it. I
Yep.
mean, we've been talking for a while. I'm glad
Yeah.
this was a chance to, actually do this.
Yeah.
And I got to say as well, not only I think I love everything that you do, but I also need to give you congrats for Dispose.
Thanks,
That
man. I
was
appreciate it.
my top, like I don't do a top 10,
Mm.
but that was up there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
top
appreciate it.
2018 and
That's
stuff.
awesome to
So,
hear.
yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. So, thank you
Same.
once again, man.
Thank you.
And welcome back. I really enjoy getting to do talks like that. I hope you enjoyed the switch up there from, the normal Skype, Google Hangout, phone, all that good stuff. It's just nice to do it in person sometimes. Big thanks to Landon for taking the time, especially out on tour, to do this in person conversation. Make sure to support Landon and the Plot in You and everything else he does by following the links in the description of the episode. Also, if you liked what you heard, you can support me, Ian Hates, by following the other links in the description. Once again, big thanks to Landon. That was years in the making. So until next time, I will leave you the way I always do. Long days and pleasant nights. Thanks, everyone.